Hi there. Right, I dare say you recognise that. That's the intro, the beginning to Lola by The Kinks, my all-time favourite song actually. My all-time favourite Kinks song. I must clarify that, quantify that. And today I'm going to teach you how to play all the relevant parts of this song so you can then sit home and strum to your satisfaction or play it in your band or whatever you want to do. As normal, we've tabbed all the chords, or got all the chord diagrams shown for you so you can easily reference those. We've got the full structure of the song all set out for you. And as usual with all these sessions, the first thing you need to do is have a good listen to the record to understand all its component parts, as well as sort of listen to the different types of feel to it, the loud bits, the soft bits, the bits that are in the middle, anything like that, so you can really understand how you want this song to sound. Because although I'll be teaching you the chords and some suggested strumming patterns, this is not a typical boom, 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 boom linear song where you've got this pattern or that pattern or this pattern to play. We're going to vary it, and you've got to put a lot of your own feel into this. So this is where it's a lot more onus on you, but I'll do my very best to try and help you out here. So we're going to break it down into 4 component parts. And for each component part, I'm going to show you the chords and a suggested rhythm pattern. So we've got the introduction, we have the verses, we have a bridge, and we have a middle 8. So without further ado, because I'm definitely waffling too much, this is the intro. Okay, now this is my suggested pattern. There are a couple of guitars overdubbed there. So the chords that we're going to use for this very beginning bit are a C, a D, and an E. Now, the first thing you may have noticed, if you're extremely observant, is you can see I'm playing a full C chord here. Now, the majority of the C chords, we're just playing them like this, emphasising that root note, which is the 3rd fret on the A string, which is the C note. But if you watch him play it live, or many of the live versions, and listen carefully, you can hear he's actually leading with a G note. So we're playing the standard C chord, but also, and I'm putting my pinky on the 3rd fret of the bottom E string, or the low E string, which is the G note, and it gives a much fuller sound. So we have the C, then we have a D, and they have an E. Okay, and then there's a bit of picking after that, which I'll show you in a minute. So it starts off like this. So we're going to have that full C chord, 2 big downstrokes, playing all the strings. And then we've got another pattern that goes. So it's changing to the D. Sorry, it's not quite like that. See, C. So it's down, up, down on that C after the 2 downstrokes. Then we're going to actually go to the D chord and miss out a strum. Watch this. So after you've played the gap, down, up, or up, down, whatever suits you. So you've got to keep that pattern, that your arm moving the whole time. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pull my hand totally away while I'm not playing that. I'm going to keep my arm moving, but I'm going to pull my hand away so you can see where that gap is. Now when we're playing that gap, you can either put your hand on the strings to mute it, like this. That's not how he does it, but that gets you a better effect. Or you could just keep that strumming going, missing out that downstroke. And then we hit that E chord. A couple more times for you. And the other technique you can use is you actually reduce the pressure on your fretting hand to stop the notes ringing out. So what you don't want it to sound like is this. So you can use your fingers on your left and your fretting hand to stop the notes ringing out. like that. And I'm just relieving the pressure on my left hand. Like that. And then we're down to the E chord. Okay, so the pattern is... and then you're hitting the E chord, so it's... Now, the pattern he plays here, and this is entirely up to you here, so we're actually starting the beginning of the verse here, which is the E chord. Now, he's actually playing this. Like that. So putting that in context, so it's going, you playing the full E chord here, and we're going hitting the E, B and G strings 3 times. And then we're going to hit the top E again, and then we're going to go G, B, E. So, like that, so it's... quite difficult to get in time, but if you if you're sort of thinking of that rhythm, like that. It's not an exact science, okay? I shouted at you then, sorry about that. It's not an exact science. So what I'm going to do is make a suggestion. For the first verse that we play, you can keep that sort of pattern, if you like, on the E, or you can do one of 2 other things. You can play that pattern, or you can do this. Very lightly holding my plectrum, playing that same riff, but just playing the D, G, B and E strings. Like that. Or if you find that a bit woolly, you can play the full chord. Like that. It is not an exact science because you've got to feel your way into this song, but this is probably the best way to start it, but still strumming it quite lightly, like this. So there we have the intro and the very, very start of the verse. Okay, so that's your C, D and E chords. The other chords you're going to need to know for the verse are A and D. But we've done D already, so A is the only other chord that we know. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play the strumming pattern. I'm not going to play the... I'm not going to play the... They're the ones that I think are slightly more advanced and things that you can work on. I'm just going to play the basic strumming pattern, and I'm going to play through a verse for you from the intro. So this is how the intro and a verse sounds. And there we have it. Okay, so quite simple really. Keeping that sort of straight, same sort of pattern, but you do vary it between the A and the D. And also I've missed one chord out. We're actually going to play an A suspended fourth as well as a little bit of a link chord, but I'll show you that as we do it. So, starts off in the verse on the E. A, D, and then back to the E again. A, D, So I've done that totally wrong. I'm going to do it again. That's a good bit of practice there because it does vary the verse. So let's start again. Starts off on the E. Then back to the A again. So what we're doing there is we're playing that A, and just before we're going to go back down to the E again, we're going to put a suspended fourth on. So what we're saying there, you've got the A chord, and we're just going to put a pinky, or the way I play it is put it onto the 3rd fret of the B string, which is the D note. So we'll play that again in context, starting off with the intro as well, so you've got a full understanding of how it goes. Starts now. Onto the A, D, and then back to the E again. And then onto the A again. A suspended fourth. Then back to the E again. A, D, back to the E, then on the A, quick change to the D, and to the C. Intro. So that is the sequence of all the verses. Now he plays that again, so that would form verse 1 and 2 as far as I'm concerned. But in between the two there's a bit of guitar which is does that sort of stuff, and all you're doing there is playing an E chord over the top of it. So if you listen to that guitar bit, it goes just playing that same rhythm. Like that. So that is the essential verses and lead licks that are the same all the time, except I think you've got this, and then you have another bit, and then I think it's the 3rd time you play a verse, it's half the length. But that's all about you listening to the song. And you can tell when it's half the length because it'll go straight into that bit there. So they are the way the components of all the verses are made up. Okay, so then I said at the beginning we have a bridge. And the bridge, you're going to need to learn these chords: B, F sharp, A, and A minor. And I'm playing them all as bar chords. So the bridge goes like this. Back into another verse. As you can see, you're starting to build it all up here, so it's getting heavier and heavier, so you're building up the volume of the chords. You're starting off nice and quietly and building up, whether you start off with the picky guitar or just the gentle strumming. Okay, so what we're doing here, we're playing a B chord. B, I play it like that, you can play it like that, it's all tabbed out for you, and then it goes to the F sharp, then to A, and then to A minor, and it goes like this. Rhythm is, that's the way I like to play. It's quite heavy. And after a full, we're going to do it again using those chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. F sharp, A minor, then back to a verse, which I'll play through for you. So there you have it. I'm not quite sure that was a half verse or a full verse for that bit, but that's all on the structures you can see. As you can see there, we've got that rhythm. We're now really starting to ramp it up. And that middle eight has got 2 different lyrics. That bridge appears twice in the song. Same chords both times, but just different lyrics. And now the final bit of the song. And this is the middle eight. I've called this the middle eight. And this does involve more bar chords and a lot more quick changes. And again, another rhythm pattern. And the chords you're going to need are A, C sharp minor, B, and G sharp minor. or F sharp minor. Okay, so I'm actually going to play the A. I'm actually going to play it in the open position, and I'm going to play the C sharp minor and the G sharp minor and the B as bar chords. Okay, and it goes like this. It's a bit more complicated this, but I'm sure you'll get there. Back to the verse again. Okay, so you can see that's, again, quite heavy. So I did actually play the B there and there, but it doesn't matter. It's entirely what suits you. So this is more downstrokes, but trying to keep that rhythm going at the same time. So it's not that easy. So we're playing an A, C sharp minor, and B in quick succession like this. What I'm doing here is making sure that whether it's a downstroke or upstroke, is that every time I change the chord, you can hear how heavy, a harder stroke. So it's boom, boom, boom. That's where I'm doing the changing. Boom, boom, boom. A, C sharp minor, B, and just keeping that other pattern going underneath it. And then building up on the B. Like that. Okay, so that's your first rhythm. A, C sharp, B, C sharp minor, B. And then the fourth time we play those three chords 3 times, and then the last time we play E, G sharp minor, C sharp minor, B. So I'm going to put that in context with the rest of it. So to recap, the last time it's E, G sharp minor, C sharp minor, and then B. So I'm going to play the first chords, which is A, C sharp minor, and B 3 times, and then I'll play that one at the very end with the same rhythm and pattern, but really trying to build it up. Okay, so it sounds like this. Last time. As you can see, I'm making a slightly different rhythm on the B. More boom, 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 like that. Or you can go with lots of downstrokes. Leave it entirely up to you. You can also do this. Just playing a few notes. Again, it's the way that you want to embellish it. And then it goes back into another verse. I think it's a verse anyway. So and then just plays that same pattern that we've gone through with all the verses. The only thing to bear in mind is the outro, which is a chorus, but using the verses, using the chords for the verse, keeps reverting back down to that intro. Okay, so when you've played the bridge twice, you played the middle 8 and all the relevant verses, the very outro bit sounds like this. Chorus. And that is all you need to know about how to play Lola by the Kinks. I would suggest the best thing you can do is just learn the chords, playing them very simply using downstrokes to start off with, but then building up to playing the full rhythm patterns, but more importantly, putting that emphasis on and gradually building up from maybe a quiet, picky, gentle sound right to the very end, which like I've just done there, into a big crescendo. So we do a lot more detailed lessons than this in all our other packages throughout Guitar Coach magazine, but this is just a flavour. That's all. It's a flavour of the sort of things we do, just to help you getting your foot on the ladder. And obviously, if you need anything, just drop me a line. I'm sure I'll be able to help you. Enjoy Lola. Let me know what you think, and I dare say I'll catch you pretty soon.